Nigeria's economy shortly after independence, with the discovery of oil in commercial quantity, became a mono economy with overdependence on oil. With fluctuating prices in the sector has been determined by the market mix, the economy of the country nosedived and the country became a consuming economy. Without producing anything for exports aside from oil, this situation became unacceptable for the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, as it determined to open a new vista for an improved economy through diversification. The administration identified agriculture and tourism as central pillars of economic growth and diversification. It is on record that Nigeria is blessed with abundant tourism potentials that, if properly harnessed, is capable of upscaling the economy of the country. This is one of the reasons for the establishment of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC, in 1992. Under the Act, the corporation, as a federal government establishment, is responsible for the planning, supervision, development, and marketing of tourism in Nigeria. It is also to encourage people in the country to take their holiday therein and people from abroad to visit Nigeria as a way of discouraging capital flights. The question now is, to what extent has NTDC been able to encourage the provision and improvement of tourism amenities and facilities in Nigeria? These are some of the issues for discourse as the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, Mr. Folorunsho Koka, steps up on today's edition of the program. My name is Kemi Fakeye. You're welcome. We have with us on today's edition of Stepping Up the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, in person of Mr. Folorunsho Koka. You're welcome to Stepping Up.
Kemi, thank you very much.
So let's start by talking about what you met on ground when you assumed office.
First of all, not just of the organization, but of the industry, was the fact that we had a 40-year-old law. The law, the edict that controlled tourism in Nigeria was outdated. It was 40 years old. They'd been trying to change it for 17 years. And then issues to do with the capacity of the human capital that was both in the private and the public sector of tourism. And over time, statistics is very important in tourism, in any business. It allows you to measure how well you're doing and what problems you're having. And the gathering of statistics, at least by NTDC, wasn't being done in a manner that I was happy with. So those were some of the major things. I mean,
and what are the steps that you've taken so far to revamp the sector?
First of all, we need to understand that tourism is a business. It's a business like manufacturing cars, like pumping oil out of the ground. It's a business. The major components of that business is transportation, hospitality, and entertainment. You move from one place to the other and go back. While you're there, you stay in a hotel, a guest house, or whatever it is, and you do something while you're there. You go to church, you go to a function, you attend whatever it is. That's the entertainment side of it. Those individual components are big businesses. So we need to understand that tourism is the encompassing concept of those big businesses. You can't imagine driving a 40-year-old car in Lagos or in Abuja now. So it didn't encompass or contain the best practices that other countries that are enjoying tourism, like South Africa, Kenya, the Gambia, etc. If your law is wrong, your industry cannot take advantage of, no matter, all the factors that you bring together to make it boom. So the law was wrong.
Like building on a foundation that is faulty.
No foundation, not even faulty. Now, so we went to the Senate. There was a legislative bill started by a chairman for the tourism committee in Senate. And we supported him actively, and he got the law through the new law on tourism through the Senate. It's a forward-thinking law. It's a law that creates revenue streams for tourism. It's a law that is not by enforcement, but by collaboration. So I'm not going to force you to register your hotels or all of that. I'm going to say, please, come and register your hotels so that we can grade your hotels, so that we can put them on the UNWTO platform that is globally acceptable and says, yes, this is a 5-star hotel. If you want to grade your hotel on your own, fine. It just means that, you know, your ratings are not acceptable where they you want them to be. So we've changed the law as far as Senate. We're waiting for concurrence of the House of Representatives. With the new law, we must also encourage all the stakeholders at state level and at local government level to look at the new laws and embrace the new laws and start to use them in a way that benefits them. There's no point in you having a new federal law and the states and the local governments are not, you know, breaking it down into the bite-sized components that they need to take advantage of. In terms of human capital, there's a tremendous requirement for training. We haven't had the kind of funding that I think we could use to train both NTDC staff and non-NTDC staff, especially where we need to connect. We have therefore been fortunate to have relationships with global technology companies like Google, Google Nigeria, Wikipedia, Jumia, who have come in and given us some training on best practices with what they have. Google has incredible tools for mining tourism data off it. Wikipedia takes you around the world. Google Street View, Google has taken the virtual reality images of some of the tourism sites in collaboration with NTDC. So even with all of that, we are still looking for how to deepen or how to enrich the human capital that is in NTDC, because we've got to improve that before we actually go out to try and change the industry, you know, that we're supposed to be regulating. So we have to improve ourselves.
In the area of the development and marketing of tourism in Nigeria, how well is NTDC, you know, performing? That
is one of our core functions, and I am sure the marketing department of NTA understands the business of marketing, and that involves financing. Unfortunately, we have not had that much funding to do the marketing that we would like to have done. But we also understand the digital side of marketing in tourism. So what we did was we created a master brand called Tour Nigeria. You have Malaysia, truly Asia, incredibly India. So we just have our own Tour Nigeria, which means just go around Nigeria. You see, we found that Nigerians are very happy to be Nigerians. Nigerians love being Nigerians. Nigerians are proud to be Nigerians. Nigerians like Nigerians, but Nigerians don't know Nigeria. And a lot of things come out of that. So we created the master brand, Tour Nigeria, and we created a sub-brand called Nigerian Flavors. So we're asking you to tour Nigeria, but tour Nigeria through Nigerian flavors. What are the Nigerian flavors? We have the traditional old cultural heritage destination. But over the years, we have had very little investment in those things. And if no matter what it is, if you don't look after it, if you don't package it well, it starts to age, it starts to decay, and the state of those traditional tourism assets. But as God will have it, Nigeria is just an incredibly fortunate country. As those sites were going moribund, new tourism assets just grew in our hands. Our music is a tourism asset. Our film is a tourism asset. Our religion is a tourism asset. Our fashion is a tourism asset. Our food is a tourism asset. Even once every 4 years, our politics is at times a tourism asset. I don't believe people are coming to look at bridges or infrastructure in Nigeria. Nigeria is an off the beaten path holiday. What brings you to Nigeria is you've met in Nigeria, you've heard about Nigeria, there's something about the soul of Nigeria.
I want to experience it.
And that is where I'm saying Nigerian flavors. Tour Nigeria with Nigerian flavors using the new cultural expression. So go to the East, try the food, look at the fashion, listen to the music. Come to the West. Go to the North, see the Durbar, see the markets, see the tie and dye, see the zoos. You know, you can go around Nigeria and sample the different flavors of the Nigerian people. That is how you capture or you get a sense of the soul of Nigeria that we are marketing.
Tourism is one of the sectors that the federal government, is facing in its diversification drive. How well is this sector contributing to the GDP?
One of the things that we have just done is subscribe to TSA, which is a tourism satellite account, which will be able to tell us pretty much what our contributions are. But if you look at the component industries that are tourism stakeholders, and I said that at the beginning, which is the transport, the hospitality, and the entertainment. If you look at what they do, what is their contribution towards GDP? You must be able to extrapolate something from that for tourism. I think that the Statistician General has agreed that he's going to give us some figures this year.
How many tourism sites do we have in Nigeria? And will you say, let me make it a double-barrel question, that they are well, maximized?
We have the traditional ones, which are the caves, the waterfalls, the forests, etc. The heritage centers, the places of historical value. There are certain things that we don't have that we should have. We're a very diverse people, and our diversity is what we see we see individual cultures in this diverse nation called Nigeria. That melting pot now throws up a unique art. That art doesn't easily find a home. Why do people go to Paris to go and look at the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre, the paintings in there? Art has a home. In Abuja, there isn't a museum. There isn't a gallery of contemporary art. Have you seen the zoo, the children's zoo? The center of Nigeria, Katampe Hill, have you seen what it is? We need structures. We need to cluster those structures. We need to brand those structures and give them a digital identity that people can relate with. You asked earlier on about marketing. Marketing today is digital. Even the television, the days of the television are numbered. People take things in bite size. It must be able to come to you in your telephone. It must be able to, break a full 2-hour movie into 5 minutes in a series manner and put it on the telephone. And our population is there to consume it. We must adjust to use what we have, improving it gradually, but making the best use of what we currently have. We may not have the stadiums or the theaters or the galleries, etc., but we could look at some assets that we have and make their use multi-purpose. So, for example, I could take the library here and make it a gallery of contemporary art. Then I don't need to fill it with books. I'm sure a lot of artists would dearly love to bring their art where they can exhibit and even sell. if you take the I think it's the velodrome, the little building by the National Stadium here, it's not difficult for us to convert that into a theater where our performing artists can call home. So every week in Abuja, there's something going on. This is the capital city of a country of 180 million people. I think those are also very good possibilities for where the private sector can come in and shake hands with the public sector.
Let's take a short break. We'll talk more on the collaboration with the private sector when we come back. You're welcome back. The program is still stepping up, and we still have the Director General of the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, Mr. Folorunsho Koka, still rubbing minds with us on the efforts of the organization towards boosting the tourism sector in Nigeria to make it contribute meaningfully to the GDP and the development of the economy in general. Talking about the areas where the private sector can come in.
Ownership is very important in the tourism industry. For example, who owns the National Stadium in Abuja? Who should own the National Stadium in Abuja? Should it be a public asset, or can it be a public-private asset, or should it be a private asset? Who owns Shumueredo in Ekpe? The trench goes all the way to Edo State. It's a state asset. Would the state welcome an investment from Femi Otedola, who is from Ekpe, to make that a commercial concern that creates employment, generates bills that can be taxed?
Even tourist attraction.
It is a tourist attraction. The Durbar in Kano, wealthiest black man on earth, is Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Yes, I would dearly love to see participation from his private sector with the public sector to take the Durbar from just a statewide event to a regional and international event. And let me say this, the tie and dye people, the cab driver, etc., is the cluster of those household industries working very well that you plug an international ticket to, that you say you have international tourism. So domestic tourism, that is the foundation on which international tourism can sit. Now, you could take the Durbar to 5 notches up. It's a fantastic ceremony. The culture is rich. The traditions that we see, it's in a particular area of the country that is Muslim. And I mean, I've seen at very close quarters what one of these events are. And it's, if you look at it, what does it take you to take it a few steps up? I mean, Oju de Oba is wonderful. The one in Oshun, the name eludes me. Oshun Oshogbo. Eyo in Lagos. So many of those things now.
Argungu Fish Festival.
In Kebbi, what we must do with, for example, these festivals, brand them and give them a digital identity.
And are you working towards that?
We are doing wonderfully there. We're doing wonderfully there. When we're not buying enough Coca-Cola, what did Coca-Cola do? They just wrote Kemi on a can of Coca-Cola. And if you didn't buy it, somebody would buy it for you. Now, that's a brand, it's strong, and that's what you can do to strengthen it. There's 70 million smartphones in Nigeria today, and they know exactly what medium, is it Facebook, is it Instagram, is it Twitter, etc., to reach you in. And you click on that advert one day just to look around at it. Okay, you go to another platform, different platform entirely, and that advert follows you because they know who you are, they know what you've looked at, and they know where you go, so they follow you.
Okay, and you are taking advantage of that?
To some extent, yes, we are. To some extent, yes, we are.
So what will you say are your major challenges?
Funding could be a lot more generous towards us. We have a lot that we could spend on, that the multiplier effects on local economies within the tourism family ecosystem, the multiplier effect would be great. if you compare tourism to manufacturing or agriculture, you still have to clear the land, till it, plant it, wait to harvest, take it to the market to sell. Manufacturing, you still have to get all the factors of production in place, capital, labor, raw materials, etc. Train them, put it together, take it to market to sell. Tourism, it's already there. The transportation industry you need to get around is there. 180 million people are using it. All I'm saying is, can we brand some? Can we package? The tourism assets we have are here. They exist. Let's make better use of them. Let's help them package. Give us seed money and let's run with it.
Is there any collaboration between NTDC and other organizations in the sector?
Oh, yes. NTA is my voice. I have a good relationship with Galaxy. They provide us with the pipe that the world can look at the internet. NIHOTO, the Training Institute, museums and monuments. Of course, my parent ministry, Ministry of Information and Culture, and the various, at least the tourism department there, the National Bureau of Statistics. We work, the film, Nigeria Film Corporation, we work with every government agency that we feel we have a synergy with, and we can work, we can either help them or they can help us do better. So, for example, NTA comes about once a month to check on, we're in the same family, to check on us, like, oh, are we doing well, what are we doing, etc. And we don't know what we can give NTA back, but we're happy to collaborate.
Well, we're happy to collaborate with you too. What do you see in the future of tourism in Nigeria?
The future is now. The future is here. The tourism assets we have, powered by a huge population, digitally connected, young, 18 to 35, forming a large percentage of our population, growing at a rapid rate. People already move around for different reasons in Nigeria. We just don't call it tourism. As we're all hearing now, oil is not going to be here forever. Tourism is the largest employer of labor in the world. Strategically, it employs women and the youth. Global turnover is about $8 trillion, representing about 30% of global trade. Now, if you look at those indices, we have a large population. We have so many tourism assets already. We have all the ingredients to cook this wonderful stew. It's just to light the fire, and it's the fire that is the funding to start. We're a fortunate nation. We will gravitate towards the development of our tourism assets, whether we like it or not. It's the future. It speaks to our demography. It speaks to some of the social issues of poverty. It speaks to all those things. And we already have it. We don't have to import anything.
And what's your message, just to round off now, to investors, to Nigerians in general, and, well, the international community, to continue to exploit this sector that is vast in Nigeria?
First of all, Nigeria is your cheapest holiday. You don't need a visa. You don't need a passport. You don't need to roam your phone. You don't need foreign exchange. As a Nigerian, Nigeria is your cheapest holiday. Please, try Kano, try Bonny Island, try the plateaus in Jos, Kura Falls, Gorara, the dunes of Gobi. It's your cheapest holiday. For foreigners, the Naira gives you good value. The cheapest burger you can buy in Mac, that company, is about $1.80. $1 is 360 Naira. And compare the burger to what you can buy round the corner for 360
potato, you know.
I am saying to Nigerians, let us patronize our domestic tourism industry. Let's grow it, and over time it will become strong enough to attract the region and the other continents to come to. It makes sense because we have a strong population, and our strong population are driven to consume. And it's a numbers game. If you invest here, you will see good returns, just from the fact that there are many more people here to consume.
Well, on this note, we shall be saying bye-bye on today's edition of Stepping Up. The Director General of NTDC, Mr. Folorunsho Kuka, I want to say thank you for being our guest.
Kemi, thank you, and see you later.
Yes. Join us again when we shall bring you another guest to talk about the development of the economy in Nigeria. Bye for now.